guys channel, Jason here. So, just want to show some more records, stuff I've been listening to since the last video. I find it easier to do this, just to get, I'm still new to this, so still getting used to talking into the camera and stuff. I have some ideas for videos that I'll probably do pretty soon. But in the meantime, some more records of what I've been listening to. So, first off, we're listening to the Blood on Satan's Claw soundtrack. Great movie. I remember watching it the first time on TV when I was younger, and love the soundtrack. So that's what we're listening to. Alright, first up, Skyclad, a debut album from 1991. This was a big album for me when it came out. I was really looking forward to this because I was a fan of Sabbath, so I was all over this like a rash when it came out. And it's one of my favourite heavy metal records. It has lost a little bit of impact and it seems a wee bit more bloated nowadays, but it's absolutely amazing. Brilliant thrash record. I think a lot of people assume, if they haven't heard this, that it's going to sound like the track on here, Witterson's Jig, which is it's a Celtic jig and played in a metal with heavy metal guitar. So in fact, that song, if anybody from the UK remembers the kids TV program The Riddlers, that is basically that song. The theme tune is that lick. But amazing record. Sky Beneath My Feet, Dreamtime Walkabout Trance Dance, Minute's Peace, Witterson's Jig, Our Dying Island, Cradle Will Fall, Skyclad, Moongleam and Meadow Sweet is more of a mellow, has more mellow parts in it, and I've always thought that song was beautiful. Terminus, so just a classic to me. I know a lot of people didn't take to this really well. This came out the same year as the third Sabbath album, which I didn't take to. I should really go back and listen to it again. But yeah, Wayward Sons of Mother Earth, fantastic record. I went to see Skyclad the first time they played here in Belfast in the early 90s, and they were lethal. In fact, the crowd responded to how good they were and went absolutely bonkers. So much so that I got my head split open and ended up in an ambulance outside the venue getting staples in my head. And then the nurse had to take me back into the venue and keep an eye on me for a wee while before she let me back out again. But didn't feel anything because of the adrenaline and everything else. It was just they were seriously on fire. So classic album to me, Wayward Sons of Mother Earth by Skyclad. Next up, Pat over at Ground Zero Zealand was showing this record, so I thought I'd pull it out. And he was showing this in his last video. Genocide, Submit to Genocide. We talked a wee bit about this record, probably well over a year back in one of his other videos. He had shown I think it was a compilation of Genocide stuff that I didn't know about. This is the only record I have by them. But this album is dumb, completely dumb fun, really good. If you're in the mood for it, the lyrics are completely puerile, and the band are trying to be as obnoxious as possible. But it's got great punk metal stuff on it. Knives, Die Wasted, Predator, 12 O'Clock and All Is Hell is a good track, which reminds me of the Plasmatics a little bit. Period. The lyrics in that song are just ridiculous. If you're easily offended, you don't want to be reading them. You don't want to be listening to this band anyway, do you? If you're easily offended. Stillborn, Sociopath, Manson Youth, Live to Fuck, Fuck to Live, Not Saved. Manson Youth's a good song. Not Saved is a good song too. As I say, 12 O'Clock and All Is Hell, I really like that track. It's a wee bit, I suppose it's a wee bit moodier than the other songs on it. Came out in 1987 on New Renaissance Records. There's the band there. So this was a blind buy to me. This record and the next record, I'm near sure I picked up on the same day. Probably out of the same batch of records that came into the record shop that day, second-hand stuff. And that was at the end of the 90s, I think. But I just love the look of the record, and I love the look of the band, and took it home with me, and say really enjoy it. But I have to be in the mood for it, and yeah, as long as my kid's not running about when this is playing, it's all right. So the other record I bought that day was this record by Mighty Sphincter, the New Manson Family. So this again was another blind buy. Didn't know anything about it, but look at that cover. It's got a Monsters vibe. They actually riff on the Monsters theme tune on this at one point. So I love the logo, the name of it, the song titles. It also says in the back of it that it's produced by Alice Cooper, which it isn't. But this is a nasty, mean-spirited, black-hearted little shit of an album. So death rock. I mean, you can hear bits of Christian Death and Nerdy Bauhaus stuff in it, but and it's almost proggy. It has loads of cackling demon vocals. It's just an evil sounding little record. Songs like The New Manson Family, Drop Dead, Blood Banquet is brilliant. Good Morning is not a song you want to listen to on the bus on the way to work on a Monday morning, because you'll just want to kill people. Being Mansonites, they do a cover of Helter Skelter, like they all do, right? Which is pretty good. Second Side, Rich and Dead, Centerfold Murders. Bizarre, strange album. Doug Clark's the mainstay of this band. He's been in this band through all their lineups and stuff. Very important to the punk scene. Is the Phoenix punk scene they were from. But this is, if you took a bong and listened to this, you'd be nauseated within seconds. It's wonky and it's creepy, but ultimately it's a brilliant record. I have a lot more of their stuff on record, so I'm sure I'll show more in later videos. I'll show more of their stuff, but this is a brilliant album. Worth checking out if you haven't checked it out. Say death rock, punk, proggy, creepy, nasty. It's good. Because of all that Manson stuff, I had to pull out Lie by Charles Manson, the Love and Terror Cult. So this came out in 1970. This one here is a reissue from the 80s on Awareness Records, just the red labels. So I haven't listened to this in a very long time. And I actually enjoy this. I don't see why Manson couldn't have had a recording contract and made a success out of being a songwriter. He had groove and he could put some singers together lyrically, but we all know what happened anyway, don't we? So, but yeah, this has got snippets of recordings and demo-y stuff, and it's basically Manson going off about modern life and what we're doing to the environment and all that. Good album. I enjoy it. And something about this reminded me of something about the way Manson was singing, or the phrasing of some of his lyrics or his words reminded me of Rodriguez. So I pulled this out for listening. This is the second Rodriguez album. So this hasn't got the drugged out coolness or the grit of the first record, Cold Fact. This moves more into definitely moves into more like James Taylor sort of territory, which is alright with me. I like James Taylor, so that soft rock sort of thing. But cracking songs on it, like the opening track, Climb Up My Music. I Think of You is really catchy. The last song, Cause, is really good. It reminds me of my brother. My brother let me hear the Cold Fact album, probably at the start of the 2000s, way before there was a resurgence in interest in Rodriguez music, and way before they put out that Sugarman documentary, which is really good. But yeah, this is a lot. This moves a lot more into soft rock territory, but it's good. I mean, the guy's got a beautiful voice, and yeah, enjoy this. It's just to say it doesn't have the coolness of that first record, Cool Fact, which is brilliant. But yeah, good record. I was talking about that Genocide record, reminded me a bit of the Plasmatics. So Plasmatics are one of my favourite bands. So I haven't listened to this in a while, so I pulled out Metal Priestess. This is probably around the time of my favourite Plasmatics. Their second album, Beyond the Valley, of 1984. This mini LP and Coup d'etat. I love all their stuff, the Maggots record and the first LP and the Vice Squad recordings and stuff, but there's something about this period of the band that I really, really like. I love the look of the band too. This is one of those albums that I remember buying Ozzy's Bark at the Moon. The first time I heard that, listened to it, and it gave me such a strange feeling, like, don't know, just a weird vibe from that record. The melancholy in Ozzy's voice and the cover and the age I was when I heard it when I was really young. It just had an aura about it, and I've sort of been searching for that for years. Records that give me that sort of feeling again. And this is one of them that gives me the same sort of feeling. It doesn't sound like Ozzy, obviously, but it just has that, gives me that feeling that I had when I first heard Bark at the Moon by Ozzy. It's a weird, strange aura about the record to me. So this is brilliant. Lunacy, Doomsong, Sex Junkie, Black Leather Monster, 12 Noon, Master Plan. Couple of live tracks, Master Plan and Sex Junkie from the previous album, played live, and then 4 other tracks. This is a brilliant record. I really love the Plasmatics. And Wendy Williams, something else. Pity she didn't hang around. She committed suicide in, what, 98 was it? I think she, around about the same time as Cozy Powell passed away as well. I remember reading a small snippet of it in, like, it was either Metal Hammer or Kerrang or something back then, which pissed me off. Because, you know, it's Wendy Williams, Plasmatics. I wish I'd hung around to see the influence she's had, but that's how it goes, right? But great mini LP, love it. Next up, Doom Rock by Mansion. So I have quite a bit of Mansion stuff on record, singles, 12 inches and stuff. So this band are from Finland. If you don't know this band, from Finland, and they do a classy take on doom rock and doom metal. This isn't like fuzz rock worship of the 60s and 70s psychedelic. It has a classier feeling to me. And like Sabbath Assembly, who based their whole thing about their band, their whole shtick with like the Process Church, the Final Judgment. Manson, they based their vibe around a Finnish religious sect started by a lady called Alma, what was it? Kartonga or something, which is a pretty severe, small Finnish Christian sect, cult, and they base their whole thing around that, and it just adds a lovely vibe and aura to their records. So what we got on here: Mother's Burden, We Shall Live, Sorrowless, which you can hear a bit more of the 70s vibe in it, maybe if you like Persian or something like that, only without the kitschy psychedelia sort of stuff. Slumber Sermon is an amazing track, so I'll probably show more Mansion stuff as we go on, because I quite like the band. I have a few bits and pieces of their stuff. Well worth checking out if you haven't. Some prog rock from Germany, I think this band's from. Prof.Wolff. This is a reissue. So yeah, good prog rock. Sort of, as you can imagine, there's a wee bit of grindy Hammond organ on it, some heavy rock, some folk elements, classical influences. They sing in their native tongue, which is good. I love that cover, but I think this came out in 1971 originally. But yeah, this is an enjoyable record. I always enjoy this when I put it on. So, Prof.Wolff. This is a frustrating record to me. Into more sort of traditional metal stuff I've been listening to recently. So, Asgard. So, in the ancient days, that cover is beautiful, isn't it? I think this is a Ken Kelly cover. But this album frustrates me because it sounds amazing. It sounds really raw, and the riffs and the brilliant thrashy speed metal on it, great playing. But the songs just aren't up to scratch to me. Like I haven't had this long actually. Probably about less than a year I've had this, and I pull it out every now and again, hoping it's got a bit better. And I love the sound of it. I love the feel of it. I love the guitar sound. It's really raw and nasty. And there's great playing in it, but the songs just don't. They just don't reach where I want them to reach. But it's still an enjoyable listen, and well worth checking out if you haven't. Just for some of the riffing and some of the guitar sound I love. It's just really raw and in your face. Great. So yeah, Asgard in Ancient Days. Jürgen was talking about this record and Onslaught the Force. So I pulled this out to listen to, and this is it took me a while to get into this record because when I first heard Onslaught, it was In Search of Sanity. I mean, it was absolutely everywhere when I was a youngster, and that was the first record I heard of them. So when I heard this afterwards, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Who's this singing and whatever, you know? But I mean, this has to be up there. It's some of the best UK thrash ever, along with History of a Time to Come, I would say. Not that I know an awful lot about English thrash, you know, but I can't imagine there's much better than this. Let There Be Death, Metal Forces, Fight with the Beast, Demoniac, Flame of the Antichrist, Contract and Blood, and Thrash Till Death. Thrash Till the Death. So, The Force by Onslaught. Brilliant, raw, cracking vocals on it. As I say, it took me a while to get used to it because I didn't know any different when I was a kid, and I thought In Search of Sanity was just, you know, who is this guy singing on this, you know? But great thrash record. I've also been listening to 80s metal band Tyrant recently. I'm going through some of their records I have. I don't have, is it Running Hot you call the LP? I don't have that in LP, but this, I think this is their second LP, correct me if I'm wrong. But this is really good. Fight for Your Life, Up the Hammer. The track listing on the back of this is different than what it actually is on the LP. We Will Rock, 2 Down, 1 to Go, Danger, Goddess. I always like Tyrant. It's got loads of character and loads of spirit. But it's one album in particular, which I'm going to show in a minute, that is my absolute favourite. Also, I was listening to Ruling the World by Tyrant as well. It's probably my second favourite album now. The keyboards come more into this recording, but they not in a sort of, they don't like make the songs wimpy or anything. The keyboards are used to give like add atmosphere, you know, like they use sort of like choral passages in it, you know, like just to add atmosphere to the tracks. It doesn't make it sound wimpy or anything. So like this band's just got loads of character. So Burn You, the opening track's brilliant. Blind Revolution, Set 'Em on Fire, Killing the Peace We Fall. She Makes Me Hot, Wild and Free, the last song, and The Wings of Endless Pain. This is a really good album too, but it's this one here that is the absolute stonker. Mean Machine. So I bought this on a trip to England one time. Me and my missus went, and we went to Camden and Soho, and I brought back a load of LPs. This is like the start of the 2000 or so, and this was a blind buy, so I picked this up on a record exchange there. When I got home and put it on, I couldn't believe it. I absolutely loved it. This album just makes me want to drink beer and party. Free for All, We Stay Free, Making Noise and Drinking Beer, I'm Ready, Wanna Make Love, Tyrant, Invaders, Grapes of Wrath, Bloodsucking Woman, Killer Cat. When did this come out? 84? Yeah, this came out in 1984. And to my ears, it's the best Tyrant record. Absolutely superb record. If you haven't heard this, check it out. And if you do like 80s heavy metal and you haven't heard Making Noise and Drinking Beer, really, really do check that track out. And if you don't like it, there's something wrong with your lugs. The amazing song. But yeah, Tyrant, Mean Machine. And I think I'm going to leave it there. So, hope everybody's doing alright, and I'll catch you soon. All the best. Bye.